Hello everyone, welcome to episode 16 of the Dark Souls 3 New Guy walkthrough. Sorry, I'm a little disjointed right now because it's first thing in the morning and I recorded like a quarter of this episode and my microphone was off because, you know, morning. So today we're going to go to Archdragon Peak. But before we do that, I missed a spot in the Irithyll dungeon. There are some ashes here that get you Carla's set and some other stuff, maybe some pale pine resin, some decent stuff. Not like the best stuff ever, but it's a set of ashes that I missed out on, so I want to at least show everybody where most of the stuff is, if not all of it. I know I'm going to miss some stuff at the Duke's Archives later, because that place is just like, ugh, what a maze. But basically, you run through the beginning, and then you head right here, and the same key that unlocks Carla's cell unlocks this. And there's no reason to go back here unless you want this thing, so that's why I didn't backtrack, because honestly I forgot it existed. Because usually when I want Carla's stuff, I just kill her. And that's more or less that. So before I recorded this, I didn't. So I'm not doing live recording, which is probably pretty obvious. But yeah, before I recorded this, I didn't think about where I wanted to go so much as grabbing that thing. I think I was just gonna go grab the ashes, and then it turned into, oh, I might as well go to you know, Archdragon Peak, so that's where we're going, and that's this episode. So, just go the path that I took, and have a seat down on this map, do the Path of the Dragon gesture. You need to have gotten that already, so if you haven't gotten it, then you won't be able to unlock this. I'm just going to be quiet during this cutscene. And then I sped up the loading screen because I don't want to waste people's time with loading screens. Like, there's probably 10 minutes of video that's loading screens in any of these, so I started speeding them all up so we're not wasting everybody's time. So when you get here, you want to have as many Estus as you can, like whatever your max is, you want to be fully loaded, because you don't quite get to the bonfire right away. It's not an immediate bonfire, and if you die you have to make that whole run again, so you definitely want to make sure that you can make it there, you get the lasting power. So these guys, they can be kind of tough, especially if you're not used to them. They throw fireballs, they have really, really long necks, as you can see. They have a few attacks that utilize that, so they'll kind of like lean back and then their neck will shoot out and hit you, and sometimes they can hit you again. They also have a grab attack that's similar, but in general they're just really aggressive and they hit pretty hard, so you want to make sure, and they're agile, they have a lot of dodge attacks, so they can be a real pain in the ass to hit sometimes. So basically when you go here you want to just try to avoid the fireballs, and then that little lump of shit right there, I'm just going to use that as cover from the other ones while I fight these guys. So as you can see, it can turn into a shit show real fast, especially with the guys with the daggers. They have a lot of multiple attack. Like right there, it was like 6 hits. So you just want to make sure you don't get caught up in that nonsense. And they do a lot of lunging. So pretty much I just try to hit and run them, you know, get in, get my hits in, get out, and you know, try not to get hit by fireballs like that. But for the most part I use this pile of rocks as a you know, some decent cover. And then there's another couple of guys over here, the one that's shooting at you, and then another one hiding behind that pillar. So if you can separate them, that kind of works with these guys, but it also doesn't, because sometimes what'll end up happening is they just shoot fireballs at you, so it all depends. So sometimes you just have to fight them all together, and that's difficult. So a lot of really good items here, really excellent upgrade materials. You get there's a slab here, there's a bunch of chunks and scales, and the ashes that'll enable you to buy Twinkling Titanite, Titanite scales, Titanite chunks, and pretty much every other upgrade material that you're gonna want other than infusion gems, because I don't think there's any ashes that let you buy that. You have to find those the old-fashioned way. But that's the bonfire, and yeah, coming up next is going to be a mini boss fight. It's kind of like a puzzle boss, so I'm just changing my gear up a little bit, which I'm surprised I didn't speed this up. I probably will speed this up. Maybe not. So I'm just changing my gear up a little bit, and so when you go this way, there's a goodie to your left. You want to get that, and you don't want to go through that archway because there is a snake man waiting to ambush you, laying down right there. Sneaky. He'll jump down and jack you up. So you want to make sure that you just come up this way and kill him, and then you can kill this big dude too. Or you can just avoid them entirely. These guys won't bother you if you leave them alone for the most part, as long as you don't go through that archway. But I figured I'd show you how to kill them. These big guys can be a lot of trouble when there's a couple of them, or when they're accompanied by some other guys. They hit hard, it's difficult to stagger them, and you can't backstab them. It's just, they're jerks. So you head down this way, and there is a lightning clutch ring. And if you hang out right here, there's a snake guy around that corner. He will wander his way out, and then you can attack him on a little bit more open ground. Because that little corner, he'll just kind of, you got nowhere to run, and he'll just blender you up. So that's that. And then when you pull this lever, then that activates the boss fight. And from this point on, you can get invaded, as is currently happening. So I was feeling froggy. I felt like just playing around and seeing if I could fight this guy, and try to just do a little honor duel with him, just because I think it's fun. But yeah, as you can see, he's not into that. So I still persist anyway. Try to just get him. But he's got a lot of weapons equipped, and I don't know what kind of armor he has, but I don't know if he can actually carry all that crap. But either way, I didn't really check his stats afterward because I didn't really feel like he was cheating. He's just got a lot of shit, trying a bunch of stuff, which I thought was interesting, so that's why I didn't like just run away from him. So with the fists, as soon as he does perseverance, you want to just avoid him. You know, just roll out of the way. He's gonna swing like 8 times, or you can just tank the first 2 hits and then parry the 3rd and 4th. You know. So right here is some really like high quality lag that's starting to show through. He's got a lot of phantom range, like just really far. So my spacing is not good for the kind of lag that's happening. It's like the kind that is really helpful for him. You can't really trust your eyes. You'll notice he can hit me in a lot of ways that it's like his katana's extra long. So it's tough because the lag changed, because at first it was decent and then it got worse. And then this happens.
Unforgettable too.
So it's did you ever watch The Watchmen? It's when the comedian gets thrown out the window. That was pretty funny. The first thing I thought of when I saw that. So, womp womp. In any case, sometimes that happens. It's all in the fun, all a part of it. Because if there's no chance of dying, then invasions wouldn't be being invaded, and fighting the invaders wouldn't be as fun, in my opinion. So, barring that nonsense, I shouldn't have been near the edge. I should have known that I couldn't trust my eyes, because he was, had that great phantom range. And on his screen, he probably hit me, but on my screen, that's not what happened. So, I was probably the one that was suffering from the lag more than him, but either way. So, here's a dragon. There's a few ways you can deal with this guy. Dragons in general, like these dragons, you want to hit them in the head if at all possible, because their feet are like, I don't know, they don't take any damage on their feet. It's a huge waste of time. So, one way to deal with them is you can, man mode it, I guess, and just clobber them. And there's really no reason to do that, because you don't get anything extra or special for it. And it just takes forever, other than to do it. There's another thing, which is what they designed the fight around. You just run around this area, and he's an environmental hazard. And you just hit him with a plunging attack at the end. And that's what, excuse me. And that's what they designed, and it just one-shots him. So it's like, it's cool at first, but it's, I don't know. Screenshot it, and then that's it. And then way 3 that I've seen people do and speedrunners do is they run up on a certain platform and they jump off and do a little plunging attack right on his head. It takes like 12 seconds, and it's super cool. Because I like it when they exploit things like that, and that's cool. I can't do it, and I'm not going to bother trying. So, I'm just going to show you how to do it the normal way. So when you come around that corner, there's just going to be a bunch of ambushes and other crap that happens. And there's probably some like crazy epic music that happens, but I turn the music off because the music's like so overwhelming in this game. It gets wicked loud. It's like, can we not? So the music's really, really low in my game, because I usually like to play quiet, like without music. But the soundtrack is really good. I've heard it a million times though, so. Yeah, you kill that dude with another ambush. He'd come lunge around the corner and stab you. And then you can go up here. I'm pretty sure there's a Titanite chunk. Once you get this Titanite chunk, or maybe it's a scale, I don't know. There's a big guy up here anyway. And if you fight it, there's another guy too. So you want to fight him over by this staircase, if possible, because then you won't aggro the other guy. Just only deal with this guy. Ridiculous flamethrower and my sweet pain attack, because it's always good when that happens, right? These guys drop large Titanite shards, which is kind of a crap drop. Yeah, 2 Titanite chunks right here. Kill this dude. So these guys have shodels, or man serpent hatchets, or they're like curved blades. So basically, if you have 100% shield, it chips through still. So I don't know if you've been noticing, it's been chipping through my shield of want a little bit here and there. So that's just something to be aware of. If you have a, lesser than 100% shield, it's going to chip through even more. So to the point where it's like not worth blocking a lot of times. So with these guys, just run by them, because the dragon's going to flamethrower you, and it's not worth it. And you can almost always get up to this ladder. And then once you get up to this ladder, as the dragon's flying right there, you just hide behind this little corner. And hopefully chain guy doesn't get you through the floor like he got me. And then the dragon will settle into the spot that he's settled in, and more or less just make a lot of noise. You climb that ladder, head down this walkway, and you're gonna get some Twinkling Titanite, 2 of them. Pretty good. Like I said, there's a lot of really good upgrade material here. I think I leave this place with like 32 scales, all said and done, which is a lot. So it's very important for him to not be in the middle of any sort of animation. That was risky right there. because he was starting to do his flame animation again. And then you want to plunge down and hit him with a plunging attack, and that kills him. And usually I'll run up here and grab whatever I missed. I come back later in the episode to grab the other stuff that I missed, but that's pretty much it. And then you get summoned. By those dragon wizards. Or whatever they are. So that teleports you to a different place. Right next to the bonfire. I don't know why they do this, because you are... I guess it saves you the walk. But the doorway with the ladder that I ran to is just on the top right corner of the screen. Like, it's right there. So, I don't know, I guess they decided it was too hard. So when you go up these stairs and you hear that chime, you want to run immediately to the right, take the path that I took, and you want to kill this dude. He's the one that's making the bell sound, not the big bell, but the little chime sound. And he's summoning this guy right here. This is the Drakeblood Knights. They are actually really, they can be bastards. Their sword hits way harder than it does when you have it. Like way harder. And they're actually pretty decent dudes to fight. And they'll just keep coming infinitely. This used to be a really popular farming spot, and some people still farm souls here. They'll like summon like Hawkwood and then have them come all the way over here, and then there's a certain spot in this room that these guys won't patrol and the wizards can't hit you, so they'll just summon Hawkwood, and then yeah, he'll just kill these dudes forever and ever and ever. And I guess he's got infinite healing or something like that, or he just, I don't know, he does something that keeps him from dying. And that's it. When you kill this guy, you get a scripted drop for a Drakeblood sword or a greatsword. Let's see right now. Drakeblood greatsword. It's not great. Don't believe it. There's only been a few builds, or one really. So you come over here and you do the Path of the Dragon in front of this big black dragon, and you'll get the Calamity ring, which when you put it on, you take double damage from all sources. So as for your challenge runs, if you want. So you want to watch out for this guy, because he's gonna try to bump you off this cliff. If you kick them, they do a little roly-poly right off the cliff. So you gotta be careful, because they have like no wind-up time when they do that thing, and they're just really ignorant and obnoxious enemies. Your best bet is to get behind them and kick them. They'll roll right off the cliff, and you wave goodbye. So it's not the best way to deal with them by kicking them off cliffs, but a lot of times it's a lot easier than hitting them, because they can tank tons of damage. So it's Titanite scale right there. And yeah, I'm gonna go through here, and we're gonna get the Dragonslayer spear. Yep. Which is Ornstein's spear, which is pretty cool. Later on you get his armor set, which is also cool. I think it's one of the coolest looking sets in the game. So now I'm just running around making sure I didn't forget anything, because there's a lot of stuff tucked away in these optional areas. So it is totally worth going to these places to get the things, because they reward you. So right around this second archway is an ambush. You see him waiting right there. And, you know, with his big old stretchy neck, comes in and grabs you, or he'll dash out and hit you. It all depends. And then you got these guys with their tower shields. They're pretty much the same as every other enemy with a tower shield, but they're not as aggressive as like the Lothric Knights. And they won't hit you with the shield, which is great. The Lothric Knights with the great shields are just always bastards. So you just hit them, weapon art them, and break their guard, and stab them through the belly. And that's pretty much it. And they drop large Titanite shards, so not great. And then you got this rogue, and then there's another guy way in the back that I'm not trying to aggro, so I'm going to fight this guy by himself back here. And hopefully I don't wake the other guy up, because two of them at the same time is a pain in the ass. They just blender you up. And it's not worth it because they don't really drop anything great. You do get a decent amount of souls, I guess, so, you know, that's why I'm going through and killing everything. Also, I kind of have a compulsion of doing that right away, because then it, you know, you can explore, because nothing's trying to kill you. So, you go with that little path and do a plunging attack on that guy. And then you can climb this ladder and get the Thunder stoneplate ring, which is a pretty good get right here, because the boss, like the end boss of this area, he does a ton of lightning damage, so it's actually one of the only stoneplate rings that I'll use. But he does a ton of physical and lightning damage. And he's considered one of the harder bosses. I think he was considered the hardest boss pre-DLC. I don't know what people consider the hardest boss post-DLC, but if you're fighting Frida all by herself, she's definitely a bastard. Mostly because of 3 phases. That 3rd phase is kind of like ridiculous. I feel like they should have just had the first 2 phases. Well, not the first phase, because the first phase is like whatever. So you probably should have fought her as an NPC first phase earlier. And then have her show up later for phase 2 and then phase 3. Like, I think phase 2 of the boss fight should have been phase 1 and phase 3 should have been phase 2. Because it's too much right away. So over here you get these roly guys. There's 2 of them. One right there and one right there. And they kind of blend in. So you want to be careful because these guys will knock you right off the cliff. So there's a good kick right there. Knocked him right off. And I think one more kick and he's gone. Nice. Right here is a dragon. He comes down, he shoots a lot of fire. So you pretty much just want to get out of the way right away. And then he'll land. Sometimes he'll go up to the tower. That window that I just went through, you can cheese this guy with arrows pretty easily, but then he'll go up to the tower and you're going to kite him out. But he's not that dangerous. Like, he'll fly up, do that attack, and then he's got a couple of head swipes and a stomp. Like 2 stomps, like 1 with each foot. And that was a weird noise. I wonder if I got invaded and then something happened there. Well, in any case, just get over by the neck where I am, and that's the safest spot. You want to hit him in the neck and the head. Something that has vertical swings is going to be handy. That's why I'm 2-handing the sword. Otherwise, I never 2-handed a straight sword. It's like pointless. I think you can bleed the dragons. Not really sure. But when he flies up, just run away, because he just blasts that one spot with fire. And he'll roar and do all this fancy crap. But basically just clobber him down. And normally I would just say avoid him, because he is a lot of work. But the rewards you get for killing this guy are totally worth it. You can't not kill him. I mean, you can, but it's just, you get so much upgrade material. It sets you up really well. And it's not a very interesting fight, obviously, because you're just hacking away at his neck and it's just not always there. It's like you're not doing a lot of damage. He's not a very dynamic enemy, but you know, it's there. It's probably one of the better dragon fights, I guess. This game, FromSoft, just doesn't do dragon fights well. Yeah, so I think it just bled him right there and has a lot of damage, like 1800. That'll speed things along. And there we go. So now he dies and you get tons of goodies. 6 chunks. I think like 3 scales. 3 twinkling. It's good. It's good stuff. I'll put what you get in the description with my timestamps, like I always do, and I'll put those in parentheses so that you know exactly what you get for fighting them. But it's totally worth it. And this area right here, these guys drop scales sometimes. So pretty much what just happened to me happens a lot, but like way worse. Yeah, they just keep getting you, like dolphining you, and they'll knock you right off the cliff. So usually what I do is just run right by them because they can't chase you really, and then that gets you to this next area. There's another one of those dragon wizards, and he's gonna summon Prince Ricard, and this is how you get Ricards rapier. Sometimes they'll summon Havel. I think Havel's easier to deal with than Ricard, even though he has like way more life. But like, you know, Ricard's not hard to deal with either. He's got a rapier, so if you get 100% shield, you're like good to go, because you just bounce right off of it. And he likes to do a lot of jumping attacks, even though I tried to parry it like an idiot. Cannot parry jumping attacks. You kill him and you get Ricards rapier. And this to my left is a bell, and that's where you go to get the final boss, and right in front of me is the bonfire. So I'm just gonna go back to Twinkling Shrine right now because I have a ton of souls, like 200,000, and I have a bunch that I can sell. So I gave the ash, pretty sure, yep, and then I sold all my stuff. So now I'm just leveling up my strength, I'm pretty sure, yep. So I got up to 27, so now that it's at 27, when I two-hand my weapon, it'll be the same as having 40 strength, which is nice. So now, at this point, once your strength's at 27, you're just going to get your dex up to 40. And then, after your dex is up to 40, you can bring your strength up to 40, and then you'll have the same amount of strength when you're one-handing it. So, it's basically just, you know, damage optimization, 40-40. It's called a quality build. It was pretty much the only build that was really any like viable in PvP for a long time. But now it's a little more diverse. You see a lot of different stuff, so it's good. I see a lot of builds that I don't see very often. So you go this way, and this is the way of the dragon, or the path of the dragon. And you get Hawkwood in here. Free summon for the NPC. And I usually summon him just because this area is like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot going on. So I like to let him take some of the lumps for me because, yeah. And then if you summon him, I'm pretty sure that activates his quest line, which I'll make a little short video. It won't be part of the walkthrough. It'll be in the playlist though of me killing him for the completion of his quest. So you get these tower shield guys, and then you got big old axe guy. I think there's like 3 of these big guys that you can fight at one time if you're not careful in this place. And they'll jack you up. So there's 2 of the axe guys, and then 1 guy with the axe and the chain. Which is kind of a lost opportunity, because that probably would have been a pretty good weapon for players to get. I think they would have enjoyed that. So whenever you hear the bell ringing, somebody else is ringing the bell in their world, kind of like in Dark Souls 1 with the first Bell of Awakening in the tower. So I got invaded, and so oh, I got parried. That's what happened. That's what that grab attack was. So in all that chaos, you should probably pay attention to the way that guy's left dagger is, because he'll parry you. Luckily it doesn't do that much damage. So not counter, but pretty much in direct opposition to the first invasion that I dealt with. This guy is actually a pretty good sport. I don't know if he just wants to invade to watch people or whatever, but you know, he lets me get all the way to the top of this, which is nice, before he goes and jacks me up. So I always like polite invaders. But I mean, it is an invasion, so they're there to, you know, kill you, but I always find the most interesting interactions with people are the ones where it's not just that. So right over here, you got this little rolly guy. You want to watch out for him, because he's going to try to knock you off the cliff. And you get the Dragon Chaser's Ashes. The Dragon Chaser's ashes are pretty much the whole reason why I'm here. Because now you can buy all the good, like, the best upgrade material. So now you can get anything you want basically up to +9, and it just costs you a boatload of souls. If you don't already have the material. So he's just sitting there, Path of the Dragon, just waiting for me. And yeah, figured to take a chance, and I decided to get rid of Hawkwood because this dude is being real polite, so he doesn't need him pestering. So if you do Path of the Dragon, you will get the Twinkling Dragon Torso Stone. To get the Twinkling Dragon Head, you need to kill Hawkwood later. So at this point, I'm getting ready to fight this dude. So do a little bow. And he's like AFK or something. So I give him a little kick. And there is really profound lag. So I give him another kick and he wakes up. Now he's running around in circles. So he does a little toast. I do another bow. And I'm ready to go and fight this dude. So I'm thinking he's going to lead me down to this flat area, because fighting on flat is better in this game than fighting on a hill. Although fighting on hills can be interesting. And he's running around. And I think he's showing me over to where you fight Havel, which you could miss. I know I missed it the first time I played through, because I didn't explore everything as well as I probably should have. So now I'm over here. I'm pretty content that he's not gonna like backstab me, something really cheesy. So I'm just trying to kick this thing off the cliff, and he's not having it. He just wants to breathe a lot of fire and roll into me. But I'm really intent on kicking this thing off the cliff. And then he runs off the cliff too. I don't know why. I think he was throwing alluring skulls to try to distract the dude, and yeah, so I think he was invading and trying to watch and help and guide, which happens sometimes, and those are usually the most interesting invasions. So I'm kind of bummed to see this guy go, because I was looking forward to fighting him, or at least playing around with him up here. But this is Havel. Right over there is a Titanite slab, and usually I just grab it first. You do not want him to hit you. He hits really hard. However, when he's one-handing his thing, he is super easy to parry. So you can see I only did 262 damage for Hornet Ring. And I do pretty good damage most of the time, so yeah. He takes a lot of whittling down to kill. So he just hides behind that giant tower shield, and I think I'm gonna weapon art it. Do another riposte, and for another like 260 damage. So like pretty nothing. Like I don't know how much I hit on a normal attack with him, but it's not gonna be a lot. Luckily, every time he rolls, he does that spin attack if he's close. So that's another free parry. Basically, as long as he's one-handed that weapon, it's parry time. And then he does his weapon art, so there's another backstab, 117 damage. So when he's like this, you're not going to break his poise most of the time. You have to hit him with something really, really big to break his poise. And when he's two-handed, you can't parry his great club. So pretty much you just kind of keep your distance and then try to roll backstab him. He can't roll either. Well, if he does, he super fat rolls. So pretty much you just gotta let him do his thing. Sometimes he'll block, but it doesn't really matter because it's really just an insignificant amount of damage to him when you break his guard. So pretty much right now I'm just gonna, you know, try to outspace him. I don't know why I tried to parry that. I just wasn't thinking. It would have been a good parry, but he's two-handing it, so unparryable. And now he's just getting aggressive. He's always aggressive, but he's swinging, and on the second swing I'm trying to go over and roll backstab him, but he turned around really fast. I don't know how he did that. Normally you can get around and backstab him, like right there. I think I just did. That's part of the reason why jump attacks are so dangerous, because you're open and you don't pivot, so somebody can get behind you and backstab you really easily. So once you kill him, you can... Oh, I forgot about this chest right here, which has Titanite scales, which is excellent, because... Oh no, Twinkling. Bummer. Either way. Oh, what was I saying? Yeah, once you kill him, you can get his armor set over by the old Watchdog of Farron bonfire. If you go down there and you take the elevator up to where you fought that stray demon, there's a corpse there now once you kill him, and it has Havel's armor set. So maybe on the when I go kill Hawkwood in that video, I'll do like a really speeded up run of just grabbing it. And yeah, so now the only thing left is to kill the Nameless King. So I'm gonna go to Firelink Shrine and level up, because I'm certain I'm not gonna do this on the first try, because he can be a real bastard. And usually I like to use, like, I don't know, depends. So Andre gave me Hawkwood Swordgrass, and that basically, if you read the description, tells you where to go. So to fight him, you have to go to where you fought the Undead Legion. So the Abyss Watchers, you go and fight them. Well, you go to that bonfire and he's there. He'll give you a little speech, and yeah, you'll have a fight, and if he kills you, he'll take your Twinkling Torso Stone, and if you kill him, you'll take his Twinkling Headstone, and that's pretty much it. But I think he stays there, always, so if you don't kill him, you can get a rematch, so you can get your stuff back, even if he takes it. So, I'm just getting bleed stuff, fire stuff, and I think I got some lightning stuff too. And I'm making sure I got my flame spear, because I want to use it and I haven't been using it, and now I'm trying to max my gear out for lightning defense, so I'm trying to just do some quick specking without getting too ridiculous, because like I said, he does tons of lightning damage. So here we are, doing a little stabbing just to see. So pretty much my plan is the dragon's weak to lightning, or bleed. Like, you can bleed it. You can bleed him too, but he's not as weak to it. Or I don't think the dragon's actually weak to it, but you can make it happen. Like, he's not. He's neither immune nor weak. And then the Nameless King is weak to fire, like very weak. So I figured I'd switch over to the Gargoyle Flame Spear and get him with that. But as you'll see, switching weapons may not necessarily be the best strategy, because it's just more to think about on this pain in the ass, difficult boss fight. Fashion Soul is looking rough right now. So this makes an arena for you that you fight. Makes the arena much bigger, because I don't think you'd be able to fight this dude in really any other arena other than this. You take a little leap of faith, and you gotta jump on this these storm clouds. The only thing about this arena is because everything's in like the eye of a storm. Boy, is it hard to judge distance for me. So this first phase, you want to attack the head of the dragon, and you want to do your best to like look at him while he's flying around. So usually, as you can tell by what just happened, you want to fight this dude unlocked, the first part, because your lock-on is going to get you killed. especially if it switches from one to the other like it just did. So you're not going to do any sort of damage if you're hitting him in the foot. That's why you want to hit him in the head. I think I'll do like 20 damage a hit on the foot. So the head is, that's where you want to hit him. And then he'll move around and stuff, and you want to watch out for all these attacks. And the more you hit this dude in the head, the more you'll build up like a stagger meter. So you want to do your best to just keep hitting King of the Storm, which is the thing that he's, the bird thing that he's flying, dragon bird. And then when you do that riposte to him, or that visceral attack, you're gonna really do some damage. It's usually the end of the fight. And now you fight this guy. If you are a pyromancer, this guy is going to be a friggin' cakewalk, because you're going to do massive damage to him, and if you can keep like a semi-long range from him, he just like edge walks towards you most of the time. He'll just like really slowly walk towards you, so you can really do some killer damage, and he can't do a whole lot about it. So with this guy, I like to, when I'm meleeing, I like to stay close. And you just gotta be on point with your rolls and know when he's doing a 2-hit or a 3-hit attack. And that's kind of like a, you gotta just figure it out as it happens. And you don't want to roll too early, because a lot of his attacks, there's like a backswing, and then there's the follow through, and the backswing is a little longer than say I'm used to. Like, he almost caught me on that one, that first hit. And he'll vary up his, sometimes he'll delay his attacks and sometimes he won't. So he can be a really tricky boss to dodge, and penalties for not dodging well are usually pretty bad, because I have a lot of life. I don't have a life ring on right now, so I should have like 1700 life, and he probably like 4 or 5 shot me, so he hits hard. But like, see how he's just walking towards me right there before he did his little attack? Like, you get two or three chaos bed vestiges at him, and those will do like 1400 damage apiece, which is you know, 7 of my hits. So with that attack, the lightning bolt will strike you pretty much, it'll strike wherever it is that you are. And that's that. He got me. So I'm speeding up the walk back because, yeah, there's no reason to have you waste all your time with the long walkbacks and gear changing, and there's just no reason, especially since I have to fight this dude a few times. So trying the same strategy here as before, and he hit me pretty good with that. Oh, that's alright, because I'm trying to get some hits in. So you have to do both phases of this boss fight every time you want to fight him, which sucks, because like, this dragon gets really annoying to fight after a while. He just moves around so much. He's a bastard to hit him. And a lot of this, the camera doesn't do you any favors. And you can't look at everything at the same time. Like, it's really hard to look at the head of this monster and the nameless king. So I think I got him to bleed there. And I probably should two-hand this thing to try to get some vertical strikes in, because that might help, but it's alright. So, when he flies away, he's going to throw lightning bolts at you, and you want to try to look at him, but the camera didn't want to cooperate there. So, I completely screwed up both of those. So, that's going to cost me a bunch of Estus, which is Because this guy is kind of going to push you to the edge of your limit with Estus. Or he usually does with me at least. And I just keep whiffing, so... Killer run on this one. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, man, why do I even have that Hornet Ring equipped? Because I'm not even doing any visceral attacks, so I end up unequipping it later. And I don't know why I didn't skip this scene. Maybe I was going to the bathroom or something. But I don't know, I was just annoyed and I wanted to watch him stab that thing in the head again. If you have a good shield, like a great shield, that can help a lot with this fight. Like if you can carry a great shield and still move around. I think the first time I beat this dude, I was using like a great shield. So that can happen right there. He'll send those two things out, and they have varying speeds. So yeah, I switch out to the Hornet Ring, from the Hornet Ring to the Leo Ring. And I was like, oh, well, I don't have this other weapon equipped, so I need to equip it. So, doing stupid things and getting careless, getting hit for it. So, I'm trying to two-hand the Gargoyle Flame Spear. And I'm not playing aggressive enough. I'm not taking advantage of the opportunities I have on over. Like I'm hitting him twice sometimes instead of when I should hit him only once. And then he hits me with that. And I think that's game over. Oh no. So, pretty good chunk of damage there. Not doing too hot. But you see how he's just walking towards me? So if you have any sort of range attack, or like, you can get him like locked into a loop of him just walking at you, and you just keep hitting him with the ranged attack. So if you have a bow, this guy can be really easy, especially the dragon, because you can just like lock onto his head. But it really trivializes this. So right there, I should have just swung twice instead of 3 times. So pretty much I'm just not using the opportunities I'm given and just swinging too many times when I have an opportunity. You need to be conservative about how you attack him. So right now I'm just trying to get better lightning defense, because also I'm sick of looking at my very ugly dude. And I think I'm switching over to the Hollow Slayer. Yeah. So we're gonna try this out for a spin. Getting rid of the shield because I'm not using it, so it's just pointless weight. And because of how long this fight is, I think I switch over to the Sun Princess ring and the Stoneplate ring. Try to just get a little bit of extra healing going, because it's just a long fight. And the vertical attacks seem to be helping a little bit, while the third one's kind of like a weird horizontal attack, so... And so, pretty much, figured I'd hit him with the thrust attack, try to get that extra thrust damage on him, but I didn't really do a lot. So, more whiffing, because this is annoying. This is really annoying when things move around in ways like this, because it's just hard to hit them. And you can see the difference in damage I just took there from having a little bit of lightning defense in that Stoneplate ring. Probably took at least 20% less damage, which is pretty significant. That's like an extra hit, basically, because he could like 5-shot me, and now it's like 6. So 1 extra hit is a lot. So here we go. Really bad at dodging that for some reason. I don't know. I wait too long to hit the roll. because so many of his other attacks you really gotta like stare him in the face and just wait. So I like to be right up on him, as you can tell, just like hug him and then roll out of his way. And nope, thought that was gonna kill me. So even with the Estus ring, you're seeing like I gotta like heal 2-3 times to really. This dude does tons of damage. So 500 on that heavy attack, pretty much not worth it. I thought that was gonna be it. And he just keeps doing that stab. And then there. I think his sword spear has a sweet spot too, so you want to be close to him to be out of the sweet spot. And I am just doing really poorly at dodging his attacks. But because I have this extra lightning defense, you can see I have a little more wiggle room to play sloppily. So basically when he's attacking, I'm trying to just do the roll and the stab. So at this point I'm trying to be appropriately aggressive for what's happening, like just getting my one hit in and rolling out, and then start doing really well because I stagger him, so that's good. If you stagger him, that, you know, it's free damage and it gives you a second to heal. So right over here, I really try to wait till the last second to dodge, and it just doesn't. I needed to wait a second longer. And I think it's just free damage for him. I just never miss it, or it never misses me. There, so I panic rolled, but it worked. Right now I'm feeling pretty confident at this point because I'm getting his health pretty low. Should have only did the one attack, but now I'm getting greedy again. I don't know what hit me there, but then you'll see in a second it's kind of it all goes downhill pretty quick. So the only thing about this guy is just like, yeah, the stomp, I was not expecting a stomp. He hadn't done it yet this whole time. And yeah, he gets me with that. And I get hit with that, and he gets me with this. That's it. All downhill. So you want to be close to him because you can see I was far from him. So basically I just did a quick like smash cut, I think. No, I didn't. That was just a speed up. So now I'm aggravated. I'm just using the flame spear, and I'm just gonna play really aggressive. Like I was just, I don't know. I got in the zone, I got aggravated, and I just made it happen. So this is a pretty good example of a good fight for this guy. So I'll go. I'm not too sloppy. Just taking advantage of what I have, getting my hits in, and then getting out. And you can see how the camera can kind of mess with you. So I lock onto his head when I'm attacking with the spear, because the spear can do some really wacky shit when you're not locked on. And that was a little bit of like, just being a little too far away. Like I can't judge distance as well because I don't have the ground. Pretty decent at staggered him, and then you can usually get a few more hits in on the head if you get there quick enough. And now I'm just getting greedy, not even paying attention to the rider, which is bad because he does a lot of damage. And then the lock-on screwed me there for a second. locking onto the rider instead of the head. So I dodge that, and now I think one of the differences is you'll see at this fight, I'm gonna start dodging around his right side instead of his left side. I don't know at what point it is, but for some reason it just clicked. It was like, hey stupid, you should probably go in the direction that his sword's coming from as opposed to where it's going. Or his sword spear rather. And I feel like that helps a little bit. But you'll see he catches me a few times still with his stupid stuff. And he goes by me, breaks the lock. But right there is being too greedy. He should have swung twice. Well, he went to swing 3 times, and then right there I probably could have did 3. But the problem is, like, sometimes you swing 3 times and you get that, you know, it's just bad. But you'll see, you get the visceral attack on him, which is good. And then, you know, you get a couple free hits off of that. And then you just, the attacks he's doing are, with the exception of this one, I'm lucking out with. He catches me with that. You don't have enough time to heal when he does that, so don't. He'll get you. I was really hoping that he wouldn't catch me with that grab attack. And now he's starting to throw some sunlight spears or lightning stakes into his combos, which are nice. Because you can just get behind him and hit him a few times. And that should have been 2 instead of 3. But it's really easy to just look at something after the fact. And I figured if he was going to hit me anyway, I might as well get some hits in, because it's just like, I have not dodged that attack 1 time. So thankfully, because of his AI, and I drank a 3rd one by accident there, I was panicking. I was like, oh no, don't die. And then I was getting greedy there, and I ended up getting him. But this dude is a pain in the ass. He's a lot easier if you can get a summon to help you out. And you can get 3 or 2 things. You get 2 things from his soul, I think. Might be 3, I don't remember. I'll go and show it later. But you get his Dragonslayer sword spear, Storm King curved sword, which you don't see him use, but it's a curved sword. And I like the way it looks, but it's not like the best ever. So after this cutscene, all these clouds go away, and there's going to be another bonfire. And if you hadn't fought Havel yet, you'd fight him down here. Or at least that's what happened to me the first time I played. And I don't think I got the other, like the second Titanite slab, because there's a Titanite slab here. So you get at least 2 Titanite slabs here. The ability to buy everything you'd be able to get your weapons up to +4 or +9 respectively, depending on what they are. And then you get some pretty good armor, tons of upgrade material, and pretty good amount of souls. So killing him is worth it for the Titanite slab, definitely. But he is a pain in the ass, and he is an optional boss, so you don't really need to do it. But when it goes well, he can be a pretty fun, or at least satisfying boss fight. So I'll put the life ring back on, and then the Leo ring. I think I put a parry tool on, yeah. Then I take it off because I'm overweight. So then I switch to my cool hat. There we go. Cool hat wins every time. And then right over here is the Dragonslayer armor. So that's your Ornstein set. Which I'll be wearing later, I'm sure, because I really like the look of it. And this is just me running back to the bonfire because I don't know, I didn't really feel like using a bone for some reason. You know, just play around with the spear. But you can see, like, the spear is really good for spacing. You just outspace them and whiff punish rather. And then I went to, so I went back to the Archdragon Peak bonfire. so that I can show you the run to get the, and yeah, I just ran through that, just feeling froggy. I didn't want the, I didn't care about the ambush. So a couple ambush, some stock dung pies, and then the ring of steel protection. And then if you go the opposite way towards that first thing of cover, there is a lightning urn. So yeah, you get sunlight spear, or lightning stake rather. No, lightning surge. So there's 3 things you can get. Lightning surge, which is a bolt of lightning, comes down. Storm King sword spear, and the Storm King curved sword. Now I'm gonna level up, and that's pretty much it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.